Okay, this is a two-part video, starting with the difference between a spiritual attack and a psychic attack and my dream experience from last night and how it all ties together. We are going to be facilitating some stress relief balances, some emotional release, and part two, we're going to get into some beliefs to help us create safety, to be able to turn on our psychic abilities, and to support us in our awakening process and activating our spiritual DNA, aligning us with our authentic blueprint. And I could not be more excited for you to be here. Thank you. I think I finally found a way for me to share my gifts and my knowledge and my wisdoms, and it's through videos like this, and it's through being able to facilitate with people that are going to find this information. I got this wisdom from my guides that I don't need to worry about it. I'm not overthinking hashtags. I'm not doing any of that, because they basically said, we're going to deliver this to the people that need to see it. Don't worry about it. So if this is finding you, please stick around, come back for part two, and tell me what your experience is going through this. So yesterday I facilitated a few balances, and over the last few days we've had to kind of really amp up our protections, both of our own energy and light, but also our properties. And so go back if you need those videos. They're pinned in my profile, I believe. Not the property one, but you should be able to find it. The Merkaba is our own personal energy field of where we are activating our light body. And because of that, you know, I'm constantly getting information. I get a lot of information from my dreams. And last night I was having, you know, those like middle, you don't know if you're asleep or awake kind of things. I saw someone watching me while I was sleeping, and then I could see through my blackout curtains into the backyard, and they were using flashlights. And I ended up waking myself up and making sure that there was nothing out there, and there wasn't. But it felt really real. And I think a lot of these experiences that we have they're very real experiences, whether we're in our waking time or in our dream time. And I've been hearing a lot of people explain it as a spiritual attack, a spiritual warfare, if you will. And that never really quite settled with me. So I asked my guides today, you know, what do I need to tell people based on my dream last night of feeling watched and seeing these flashlights? And I said I thought it might be a spiritual attack. And I was testing whether it was a spiritual attack or if it was a psychic attack. And it said psychic attack. And so I was asking what the difference is. And so they said, people can categorize this as a spiritual attack, but it isn't so. It is not an attack on your soul, as a spiritual attack implies, but more of an attack on the opening of your psychic gifts. You can choose to see it as a scary negative thing, but what you experienced was in fact a confirmation that these people, government agencies and entities that do wish to keep these gifts hidden, not just from me, but from the collective. It said, think about it as the witch trials rather than a spiritual attack. And I said, what can we do to protect ourselves from this? And it said, it's helpful to remove the stress and trapped emotions around this experience. And so that is what we're going to start with. We are going to start by bringing to mind a similar experience to mine. We are going to have our eyes open, looking down, everything uncrossed. And I'm just going to tune in with the energy at hand. Okay. So what you're going to do, and just so that you know, I always ask for permission from your highest self. We never do anything that is not given permission for. It's kind of rare that we get a no, but we do get no's sometimes, and it's because of a whole bunch of different reasons. So like in my coaching practice, I go through different ways of kind of getting around, you know, what do we need instead? So when we're doing this as a collective, it is in the collective consciousness best interest to do the balances that we're doing. And so I am led by my intuition, my psychic gifts, and my understanding of the subconscious system to lead these transformations. So the first transformation is called a transform the perception of stress, so TPS in PSYCH-K. We are going to bring to mind a situation in which we have experienced either a spiritual or psychic attack, a scary dream, a nightmare, somebody watching over us, that kind of feeling. Ooh, ugh, there's a lot of energy there. Okay, so eyes open, looking down. Oh, it's pretty wild. Okay, what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna put you into a body posture. You're going to go into this body posture. You're going to put yourself back in that situation, understanding that the distress may increase before it dissipates, but trusting that you are safe to move through it. What you're going to do is you're going to be in this body posture, eyes closed, allowing anything to come up and out, and really processing all the way through these fears, these panics, these uncertainties, and until you reach a state of peace and non-attachment. So you'll pause the video, you'll go through the balance, and then we'll come back and we'll post test. So what we're going to do is we're going to be, let's see, left over right ankle, right over left wrist. So your ankles are crossed, your left ankle over right ankle, right wrist over left wrist. You're going to turn your palms facing inward, clasping your hands. You can have them down in your lap or up toward your heart. Okay, I'm going to do some energetic clearing while you guys are in this balance, but I want you to pause the video, putting yourself back into the situation, allowing the stress to dissipate until you come to peace and non-attachment. You have as much time as you need. Okay, so if you finished your balance, you're going to put all 10 fingertips together. This allows our circuitry to be completed. It almost acts like a saving program for our subconscious system, so it's almost like you hit save on your computer. This allows our conscious and our subconscious minds to kind of blend and marry. There's a few things that came up in that balance for me. That the song by John Mayer, when they own the information, they can bend it all they want. When we think about that idea of them owning the media, of them owning the news stations, of them owning the narrative, of them owning these psychic abilities and these biotechnologies, they can use them in any capacity. And it's up to us to be discerning, to put up our spiritual protections, to do our spiritual cleanings. I recorded a meditation. I don't think it's on my YouTube, so you'd have to DM me. For some reason, it's not downloading correctly, of course. Yeah. Anyway, it is for nightly rituals. And so I do this every single night as a way to decompress and to release all of the energy that we are absorbing throughout the day, and to basically create a capsule around myself for protection while I sleep. It's really important not to just do this work in our waking time, but also protecting ourselves as we astral travel, as we dream. And on nights I forget to do it. It wasn't working last night, which is really interesting. And I had that dream, right? So it's really important that we have that spiritual hygiene. Okay. So that being said, if you need it, DM me, I'll send you the link. The next things we're going to do is we are going to release the trapped emotions connected to these experiences. The two that came up were sadness and resentment, and there are a handful of hidden emotions that we don't necessarily need to have conscious knowledge of. We're going to release them one at a time. I like to take a magnet. You can take any kind of magnet. I have these like magnetic rocks. You can use your fingertips. Again, we're electromagnetic beings, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to stimulate our guardian meridian. Our guardian meridian runs from the top of our lip, up our nose, across our head, down our spine. And you're going to concentrate on releasing the trapped emotion of sadness, tuning into your body as you consciously release this trapped emotion. So what you're going to do is you're going to stimulate that guardian meridian. I would do this like anywhere between 5 and 10 times, eyes closed, releasing the trapped emotion of sadness. You may feel tingling. You may notice maybe some lightning. You may notice heat sensations, cooling sensations. That guardian meridian will go and find the trapped emotion where it is and start to dissipate that. Be aware that you may experience an emotional reaction over the next 24 hours because your body's actually processing through this. It's not super common, but it happens. Come back for part 2. I'm going to go through the other trapped emotions and some belief statements to support us in our psychic abilities.